أجواء إيجابية إن شاء الله.
Good afternoon. You're watching the English newscast on Future Television. I'm Yumna Naufal, and these are today's top stories. Prime Minister Tamam Salam reiterates efforts to support moderation and to confront the acts of terrorism that are harming the image of Islam. Government ministers approve a decree to export the bulk of Beirut and Mount Lebanon's waste, potentially signaling an end to a ruinous crisis. And Greece's parliament approved the resolution calling on the government to recognize the state of Palestine in a special session attended by visiting Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas. Prime Minister Tamam Salam is reiterating the efforts to support moderation and to confront the acts of terrorism that are harming the image of Islam, he's saying. He was quoted saying, "We will continue to support moderation and confront terrorism that is tarnishing the image of Islam." He said this on the occasion of the Prophet's birthday and after meeting Grand Mufti Abdul Latif Daryan at Deir al-Fatwa. He added that he hoped that the efforts of the Grand Mufti continue to succeed in confronting everything that is hampering the path to Islam as well as for Muslims. For his part, Daryan said, "We have to confront the damage that the extremists want to inflict on our religion." He concluded by saying, "We will not back down on coexistence no matter what the conditions are, because we are one with the nation's fate." Speaking of, the Lebanese Grand Mufti Abdul Latif Daryan is standing in support of the ongoing efforts to end the 19-month-old power vacuum that has crippled the parliament and the cabinet. He said, "I read in newspapers that the cabinet met to discuss the trash issue." He said this in a televised speech on the occasion of Prophet Muhammad's birthday. The government, which met Monday for the first time since September 9th, approved a decree to export the bulk of Beirut and Lebanon's waste, potentially signaling an end to a crisis that has left the capital region buried in waste. The cabinet has been paralyzed by indecision stemming from a dispute over its decision-making mechanism in the absence of a head of state. But he still clings to hope, indirectly praising former Prime Minister Saad Hariri's efforts to break the presidential impasse. Government ministers approved a decree to export the bulk of Beirut and Mount Lebanon's waste earlier this Monday, potentially signaling an end to the crisis that has left the capital buried in waste. The cabinet turned a new page and lifted a great weight off the backs of people, Premier Tamam Salam said, after a marathon 6-hour cabinet session. This was the first cabinet meeting since September 9th, and it was paralyzed by indecision stemming from the dispute of the absence of president. Now, this specific decree authorizes the Council for Development and Reconstruction to drop contracts with 2 firms, one British and one Dutch, to handle the export operations for a period of 18 months. However, it will take officials weeks to drop the contracts and treaties to fulfill the country's obligations under international law. The Italian Prime Minister Matteo Renzi arrived in Beirut for a one-day official visit. The premier has met with his counterpart, MP Tamam Salam, and was expected to meet with Speaker Nabih Berri as well as other senior officials. The PM headed directly on a military helicopter to South Lebanon to meet with his country's peacekeepers at the UN Interim Force in Lebanon. The Italian unit is led by the Alpini Brigade under Sector West Commander Brigadier General Franco Federici. Renzi will also meet with Syrian refugee children at a school in the Mount Lebanon village of Pshemoun. He will depart Lebanon on Tuesday night. Hezbollah chief Sayyid Hassan Nasrallah is accusing Israel of killing party commander Samir Antar in an Israeli airstrike in Syria and is vowing to retaliate against the Jewish state at a time and place of the group's choice. Samir Antar is one of us and a commander of our resistance, Nasrallah was quoted as saying. "We are sure that Israel did kill him. It is our right to retaliate for his assassination in the place, time and manner that we deem appropriate. We in Hezbollah will exercise this right, God willing. Let everyone make his calculations on this basis." Nasrallah's threat, issued a few hours after Qantar was laid to rest in a cemetery in the southern suburb of Beirut, heightened fears of a resumption of hostilities between Israel and Hezbollah, which fought a devastating 33-day war in 2006. Lebanese non-governmental organization KEFA, a group supporting abused women, recently launched its newest campaign to raise awareness about marriage for underage women in Lebanon. Lebanon, known for its nightlife and liberal social norms, offers freedoms denied to many in the Arab world, but campaigners say the country still has a lot to do to fight underage marriage and domestic violence. While Lebanon's legal code is largely secular, Personal status laws give Muslims and Christians religious authorities control over many civilian affairs. The confessional system settles disputes over marriage, divorce, and inheritance in religious courts. CAFA says these laws are out of date and need to be changed. To start raising awareness about underage marriage, CAFA launched a campaign with a video and a slogan laced with wordplay, which translated to English meaning outdated laws cannot be serious any longer. Coming up next, U.S. space company SpaceX successfully lands a rocket upright for the first time. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're watching the 4:20 o'clock news here on Future Television. A fresh bout of deadly fighting and airstrikes hit Yemen, despite an extended ceasefire that was supposed to come into force overnight, according to military sources. The foreign minister said late on Monday that President Abdurrabbu Mansour Hadi had decided to prolong the week-long ceasefire for another 7 days in a bid to resolve the conflict. The United Nations says the conflict pitting Iran-backed rebels against loyalists supported by a Saudi-led coalition has killed nearly 6,000 people since March. The initial truce was violated on a daily basis since it came into effect on December 15th in conjunction with a UN-brokered peace talk in Switzerland. In the latest bloodshed, at least 13 rebel fighters were killed in airstrikes on the northern province of Daleh overnight. The rebels reportedly shelled an area near the central city of Taiz, where loyalist forces have been besieged for months. Iraq's armed forces have started an attack to dislodge the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant group from the center of the key city of Ramadi. The attack on the capital of Anbar province began this morning. At the start of the offensive, ISIS mounted an attack with a suicide car bomber against soldiers as well as Shia militiamen. They gathered in Abu Dihaye village north of Ramadi, and killing 14 of them, another 17 soldiers and militiamen were also injured in the blast. In a separate incident, at least 8 civilians, including several children, were killed in a series of airstrikes on a residential area north of Ramadi, situated about 120 kilometers from the capital of Baghdad, which was captured by ISIL in May. But the Iraqi forces have since managed to claw back some territory. Greece's parliament is approving a resolution calling on the government to recognize the state of Palestine in a special session attended by the visiting Palestinian president. All Greece's parliamentary parties voted in favor of the move, according to the Assembly Speaker, Nikos Voutsis. It urged the Greek government to promote appropriate procedures for the recognition of a Palestinian state and every diplomatic effort for the resumption of discussions for peace in the region. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas said he was proud to be in the Greek parliament, calling it the sanctuary of democracy. He thanked the deputies for a vote he said would contribute to the creation of a Palestinian state. The Greek parliament's deputy speaker also called the resolution an important step toward the recognition of a Palestinian state. U.S. Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump was heckled several times during a campaign rally in Michigan. During the rally, Trump said he was not offended that Russian President Vladimir Putin has said nice things about him. Trump told the crowd that Putin has been accused of killing reporters. Pointing to the reporters in the room, Trump said, "I hate some of these people, but I'd never kill them."
No, think of it. You know, it's Russia, after all. Somebody said, "Are you at all offended that he said nice things about you?" I said, no. And they said, "Oh, Trump should have been much nastier. That's terrible." And then they said, you know, he's killed reporters. And I don't like that. I'm totally against that. By the way, I hate some of these people, but I'd never kill them. I hate them. No, these people, honestly, I'll be honest. I would never kill them. Now, wouldn't it be nice? Hey, cameras, turn around. There's another guy up there. Look, turn the camera. Go ahead. Turn the camera, ma'am. Turn the camera. You with the blonde hair, turn the camera. Show the room. Go ahead. They don't turn them. Why about, hey, you in the center, why don't you turn your camera? Show them how many people come to these rallies. Turn them. Go ahead, turn them. Go ahead. Relax. Take it easy. He's very committed. Relax. He's actually a Trump guy. He's just got a lot of energy. Okay. Okay, sit down. Come on. Relax. Don't hurt him. Be very nice. Yes, darling. Yes. Boy, she doesn't sound very tough, huh? That's a very weak voice. Hello. Look at these people. Boy, what a bunch of losers, I'll tell you. You are a loser. You really are a loser. It's so much fun. Okay, you can get them out, yeah. Don't hurt them. So that's what happened. That's the story on the fort.
U.S. President Barack Obama was quick to hit the golf course of the elite Mid-Pacific Country Club in Kailua on his much-awaited family Christmas vacation in Hawaii. Several onlookers could be cheering the president at the 18th green, where Obama managed to ship a shot into the hole from nearly 12 meters away. Obama threw his hands in the air in celebration, and those watching from a distance cheered, "What a shot." Obama high-fived his regular golf partner Darrell Harrington and later took a group photo. The first family will spend about 2 weeks on the island of Oahu before returning to Washington, D.C. in early January. U.S. space company SpaceX has successfully landed a rocket upright for the first time, a major milestone in the drive to cut costs by making rockets reusable. The Falcon 9 rocket made a graceful arc back to Earth and touched down vertically at Cape Canaveral in Florida minutes after launching a payload of satellites to orbit. SpaceX, headed by the internet tycoon Elon Musk, is striving to revolutionize the rocket industry, which currently loses many millions of dollars in jettisoned machinery and sophisticated rocket components after each launch. Still, in space, astronauts aboard the International Space Station Expedition 46 wished everyone down below a planet happy Earth Day and happy holiday season.
Welcome aboard the International Space Station. I'm Scott Kelly, along with my Expedition 46 crew members, Tim Copra and Tim Peake, and we have a message for all of you for the holidays.
First off, we'd like to say what a privilege it is to serve on this International Space Station and how grateful we are to the teams on the ground that support our flying here, as well as all the science that's on board this laboratory.
Christmas is traditionally a time for friends and families to get together, and although we can't be with our friends and families this year, we'll be orbiting the Earth 16 times on Christmas Day and sending all our good wishes to everybody back down on our beautiful planet Earth.
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and Happy New Year from the International Space Station.
That looks like fun. This marks the end of our bulletin for today. Now for a reminder of our headlines. Prime Minister Tamam Salam reiterates efforts to support moderation and to confront the acts of terrorism that he says are harming the image of Islam. Government ministers approve a decree to export the bulk of Beirut and Mount Lebanon's waste, potentially signaling an end to the crisis. And Greece's parliament approves a resolution calling on the government to recognize the state of Palestine in a special session attended by the visiting Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas. Those are your headlines here live on Future Television. We wish you all a good night and we'll see you again tomorrow for the latest. Have a good one.
الأجواء إيجابية إن شاء الله.